Hi everyone, my name's Abigail. I'm a psychic medium and a therapist counsellor. So please don't write me off because I'm a psychic. It's just the ability to feel into energy and get a deeper depth of understanding of what's happening for you and how I can support or offer tools for you to be able to move forward in your life. So it's actually, I just think it's amazing. But anyway, some people have a lot of questions about it. Or the other thing I get is they tell me I'm working for the devil. But, you know, demons, let me tell you, if I'm working for the devil, how come all my clients leave in a good place and with more positive going on in their life than what they came with? So anyway, I'm just going to put that aside. Today I want to talk to you about coping skills, and if your coping skill is smoking pot / marijuana. I don't know if I'm allowed to say that. I guess I'll find out. So anyway, I want to talk about how as a man you might choose coping skills and my thoughts on that if you're a dad and you have children, and what my views are. So firstly, if you're, and you know, let me clarify who I'm talking to. I'm talking to people who might do this regularly. I'm talking to people who, when they can't cope, this is where they go, and that they do find that it becomes their go-to to regulate when they're not able to manage life. So whether that be loneliness, which is a disconnection to yourself, which is, I'll explain more about that because it's a little bit confusing. Boredom, which, no, I don't actually believe in boredom. I think there's a lot of other things going on with boredom. Or whether that be depression, and depression, you know, or just escapism because you don't want to deal with it. But I think what often happens is, maybe for men a little bit more, is you don't know how to deal with it. You don't even know what's happening. You don't sit there and think, I'm having a depressive thought. I might escape this by going and using a substance. Like, that's not how it works. I don't even know that there's a thought process around it. I think it's just a reaction. So anyway, I could be wrong. So let me know in the comments, but let's keep going. So I'm talking to men who use smoking substances because I've got a bit of a thing about it. And I think my perspective comes a lot from knowing that that's a disconnection from self, and also knowing the impact that you have on your children and their lives. And so one of the things that really concerns me, because in my work a lot I did hear from men who would do this, and they would say to me, oh, well, it's when the kids are asleep and it's out the back and they don't even know. All right, let's have a think about that for a moment. So you're out the back, they don't know, you don't do it in the house. Have you ever, as a child, pretended you were asleep and you weren't? Have you ever woken up in the night? Like, seriously? And do you ever think that, you know, what child sleeps like every single night, 100% through the night? So this is my problem with it. They will smell it. Your children will smell it. They will smell it. Or they will, if you're doing it during the day, they'll see the change in you, and they will, because their little brains are wiring faster than they ever will in their life to learn how to live as an adult, because that's what children do, especially under 7. So let's think about this for a moment. So you've gone out the back and you're smoking, and your child's woken up and they can smell it. So do you know what's going to happen? Their little brain is going to wire that smell in with especially if it happens a couple of times, maybe not a one-off, you know, you might get lucky, but anyway, their little brains will wire that with the comforts of home, because on a sensory level, they're experiencing the comforts of home. You know, they're tucked up warm in bed, they might have a warm tummy, and then this smell comes in that's quite strong, and they'll be like, oh, that's associated with these other things, and this is how their little brain will make sense. It'll go, oh, okay, I've smelled that. Then what will happen is when they're teenagers and they come across it, they'll go, oh, that's familiar. Oh, yeah, that's the comfort of home. There's not any dangers involved with that. And it will normalize it for them to have that experience. And, you know, I don't know, statistic wise, I don't know where I got this from, but I do know it was a fact. If you've got a predisposition to any sort of mental health, it gives you a 400% increased risk if you're an ongoing user. And what I noticed in my work is that people who smoke will do anything to justify the substance. Like they'll say things like, it's not that bad. I don't need to talk to a counselor because they don't understand me. The counselor doesn't know what they're talking about. All these, but really, that's just an excuse. There's always excuses to protect the addiction or the usage. And the usage is always covering up a vulnerability. So to deal with that is something that is unknown, probably scary, don't want to deal with. But, I don't know about you, but I don't want children getting to their teenage years and smelling marijuana and going, oh, I know that smell. They might not do this consciously too, by the way. I know that. That's associated with home and warmth and, a full tummy and all those warm, beautiful things. Like smoking, let's face it, all teenagers are probably going to try things, but there's use and abuse. So let's think about why the ones that go down the path beyond use and turn to abuse. And that will most often be because they're looking for a way to regulate. And what is regulate? Manage their internal world because they're not feeling able to be where they should be or where they think they should be. So, and if you're doing this is why you're doing it as well. It's like, yeah, it might be recreational. And again, I'm talking to the people who do it regularly. It's, why are you doing it? Why are you escaping? Does it relax you? If it relaxes you, why are you not relaxed in your life? Like, what is it that's so overwhelming your central nervous system that you're not able to relax without it? So what I would say is, if you're doing this at night, and look, honestly, the reason I'm making this video is because it has come up often with clients. And if you're doing this at night and you think that it's all safe and nothing can happen, you're wrong. You're kidding yourself. You're living in a dream world. No. And if you want to be a role model as a parent and if you want to imagine your child in 10, 15 years time being the best version of themselves, then you need to be the best version of that parent, for that child that you can be. So what that means is, if you have a reason to be checking out at nighttime, then you probably need to find a way to regulate yourself. And what that means is that you need to, so there's a part of you that you're disconnected from. So, and it's overwhelmed by heavy emotion or, boredom, or I can't calm my body down, or whatever it is. Like, you can give it whatever name you want, but at the end of the day, it's all the same. So what I would say is, deal with your issues, deal with the underlying issues, get support, get help, be open. Don't let the addiction say to you, they don't understand me, they don't know what they're talking about. Be open, be resolved to be the best parent you can, who's present and also connected. Because, if you're doing that to disconnect, chances are you're not in a place where you're feeling within your body and soul and mind the love and connection to your family, your worth, your goodness, what you bring to the world. It's like you're probably on autopilot doing all these things and haven't had an opportunity to connect to yourself, get on track and be in line. And, I just think the most important thing for men to be in their head of the family, leadership, providing provision, safety role, is to be connected to themselves. Weak men are not really good at leading families. And then you have women taking over and getting overburdened. You have children taking over, which is even worse. And let me tell you, there are a lot of parentified children around who run families. And, they might not be doing the work, but they're doing the internal work of the family. And children don't have the emotional, psychological capacity to run families, but neither do broken men. So, and I'm not saying all men are broken. I'm saying if you've got part of you that's disconnected and you're using substances to step out of your parenting role and you're doing it regularly and you're thinking, yeah, this is all good. It's not. It's absolutely not. And you're at risk of losing everything you want, but then you're not feeling everything that you've already got anyway. So take some time, go do the work on yourself, be a role model, be a leader of your family. And to do that, you need to be whole. You need to be whole because think about, you do not want your sons and daughters going down this path of disconnection from themselves. They don't feel joy. They don't feel connected. They don't feel like they have any option but to substance out of the world and bliss out because life's not good enough. Like, believe me, children role model themselves after you, not what you say, what you do. So take the time, because men are the best problem solvers, they're the best leaders, they're the best, but not if they're not emotionally present and they're psychologically tripping themselves out to escape reality. Like, no. And, you know, again, I'm going to say it. Yeah, you can go to the gym. That's great. I had this conversation this week with a client. I have this conversation regularly is, you know what? Yeah, you can go to the gym, but you know what? It's a temporary fix. It's great. It's good. And, you know, we want men to be disciplined and strong and, you know, got to keep us safe when the zombies come and everything else. But, yeah, gym is a temporary fix. It's never going to change your neural pathways. It's never going to change your way that you are connected to you. And in my view, in my experience, the major way to do that is through finding practices that process that disconnection out of you and bring connection in. So what are they? EMDR, TRE, somatic body work, breath work, EFT, hypnosis, counselling, psychology. Anyway, that's my video today. If you have any questions, please leave them down below, or if you agree or disagree or discussion points. I'm always open to hearing more and learning more, especially talking about men when obviously I'm not a man. So let me know your thoughts. If you want a session, I do video sessions via WhatsApp, only because I find it doesn't drop out as much as the other platforms. So send me a message, and yeah, thank you.